All right, the first thing I want to do is I want to thank this team and this group of kids because they believed in whatever we were telling them it took to get to this point, and there was no task that they weren't willing to rise up. Even when we're down at halftime and you just ask them to just give you your best for 24 minutes and let's see what happens. There's never been a challenge they haven't rose to this year. They never give up and they keep fighting, and that's one of the things I talked to the quarterback club. I think Robin quoted me in the paper this morning. It might have rubbed some people the wrong way. Well, I guess I know now. We are talented enough to win a state championship. Because sometimes it ain't about your talent. Sometimes it's about a team and chemistry and guys believing in each other and having guys that can just step up and make plays when you need them to make it. Before I open up the questions, I do want to sit up here and tell you I'm a proud River Parish football coach right now. And I want to thank and I want to send some thank yous out there to Wayne Stein at St. Charles and Coach Scott at Destrehan. They did an incredible job this year as well. We played both of those guys, and that was one of the things I told our team before the game. I said, guys, there's nobody else playing in this stadium, in the dome this weekend that can say that they've already played against two teams that got rings. And we had. And I knew we were up to whatever the task was. Both of those games, I know I talked to Destrehan coaching staff throughout the year. We thought that was the best team we played all year. They thought we were the best team they played all year. And us at St. Charles had an epic battle in week 2 that came down. We came up 3 yards, 4 yards short, but that showed the heart and character of this football team. So we're going to print the shirts. We're going to fundraise for all 3 schools. There's going to be some River Parish versus Everybody shirts coming out soon with those 3 logos on it. So get ready to see them.
Questions?
For D'Wanye and all the guys, when it was 19-7, when they were in the backfield constantly disrupting your stuff, what was the mood? What were the thoughts? Where were you going?
Don't blink. That's one of the things that we talked about. We feel like we're prepared for whatever teams can throw at us offensively. Obviously, when you got the guy that's sitting right here to my left, you believe in anything that he can do if you just give him enough time or enough space to make a play. I want to say that last touchdown to Thailand was him just seeing it on the field and him directing traffic, getting Thailand to run a route. We had something called to the other side. He saw him move the coverage over, and he told Thailand what to run and put the ball on the spot. The touchdown early in the game was something that we thought we had in. The one late, we thought we had a good play call when we went for that 4th down at midfield. Maybe when some people were probably questioning that call at that time, but in this situation, which you're gonna roll the dice for, I felt we had a good play. I think we had 3 options to pick up the first, but Lutcher believed in Thailand and gave him a ball that really sparked that 4th quarter.
Question.
Coach, first of all, congratulations to all of you guys. Well done. My question to you, at 19-14, when you guys scored, North DeSoto had to pick up a few big plays, and it looked like they were going to score, and you guys forced a turnover. Do you feel like that changed the momentum completely?
Well, I think one of the things that we talked about was North DeSoto lived on turnovers this year. And I'll let Lunch tell you a little bit about us, our turnovers. Our defense practices turnover circuits every week. Mook, at times, when he was during the year, he was mad because he wasn't getting interceptions. We didn't create a whole lot of turnovers this year. But, Lunch, you want to tell them when we were going to create them?
In regular season, it was like, I ain't gonna do picks at like crazy. And I told him, I'm gonna be out the top. I told him, you're gonna get your picks when we need them. And that's that. All 3 playoffs, we needed them, and you can't keep them.
So that was the same thing with the rest of our defense. We didn't create a whole lot of turnovers throughout the regular season, but when we needed them the most, our defense found a way to come up with it.
How much confidence do you have in D'Wanye to kind of change the game plan in the second half and have him air down a little bit?
We always have the confidence. It's one of the things that we've talked about all year long. We practice throwing the ball every week. Our game plan, the way we prepare each week, doesn't change. We are prepared to do whatever the defense takes away from us. We've just been fortunate throughout this run in the playoffs that we've been able to throw the fastball and run the football, run power football straight at you. And tonight we thought that was a good chance that because of what we saw in North DeSoto, that they would sell out to stop the run. So we continued to prepare just like we had for 15 weeks on the passing game, and we were extremely confident that if we had a turn to it, it would be there for us.
And just to follow up with you, D'Wanye missed a couple of receivers to start the game. Was it a matter of just like settling in for you?
Definitely. They know, like, you just need to relax when things get hard. Every time things gonna happen your way, and things gonna go bad on your way, but you gotta stay focused, and I always keep my team focused.
Kind of follow up on that, just talk a little bit about it. I mean, they did sell out on the run. Coach Dunn talked about that and said if they're gonna be this, they're gonna be this with the pass, and that's what they did. I know you're confident because you practice it, but it's one thing to practice it and execute it. When did you start feeling good about it? After, in the second half, you started, it looked like you all got in a really good ball.
We had a great speech in the locker room. Like, we knew, like, it's ain't gonna happen. So we served everybody, and I was like, when we took the ball, everybody kept saying, leave the ball, we need to get this thing going, and do Lutcher football. When we came out second half, so everything Lutcher football.
I just think that's a testament to our guys. I've talked about this throughout the year as well, about how unselfish guys like Tyler Johnson was all year long. Because there were times this season that we could have thrown the ball in some games, and Tyler could probably have numbers that rival anybody's in the state. But it wasn't what we needed from week to week. And just like Lunch talked to Mook and the defensive guys about getting turnovers when we needed the most, I told Tyler he was going to be a household name when the game was over with. Before we left Lutcher today, I said Tyler Johnson will be a household name after tonight. And you believe in your guys, you just give them a chance and give them the stage to perform. And Tyler was that guy tonight.
Talk about the 3 interceptions.
Execute everything, believe in my coach, believe in myself and my teammates. Play hard. This month, I caught a pick almost every playoff game. I think every playoff game actually feels very good.
Did you just see the ball well when he was
Oh
throwing?
yeah, I put my team very good. I was looking at the hip.
Question.
Coach, you see that Craig with the 3 interceptions, and you know that's known as a state record for state championship game 3 interceptions. That's one thing the team, and also right now you're the dynasty of the Little Bears. What you can say about that 9 state titles?
Well, let me start off with Mook, because I'm gonna tell you, as happy as Mook about those 3 interceptions, he's probably just as upset about the one he dropped. Because he said it was the easiest one of the night. He put it on the ground, and so that's what Mook can tell you. He's excited about those 3, but he'll tell you he's upset about the one he dropped. As far as that goes with the river parishes, I'm so blessed to be the head football coach at Lutcher High School. We've got the 9th one. It's something that you got to have a special team that's willing to embrace that and understand what that history and what that tradition and what those expectations can do to a team. And there's a lot of teams that can fold under that pressure and knowing about it. But I'll say this, that attitude never changed. They didn't back away. In week 2, we lost to St. Charles. Tylen came up a little bit short on that last play. And we were bawling, crying, because we were acting like it was the end of the world. And on September 9th, I talked to our football team about winning a state championship. On the field at St. Charles. Said we'd been here before. I was offense coordinator in 2008 with Gavin Webster and Jarvis Landry. And we played at St. Charles. And that was the last time we played at St. Charles Catholic. And we lost a 1-score game on that field. And I told them if they believed in it, we wouldn't lose again. Because that's what that team did in 2008. We had been down that road before. And these guys believed and they showed up every day. I told them either yesterday or today when I was talking to them, I wish I had 15 more weeks to coach these guys. This team deserves this opportunity. They deserve this stage. And I didn't know all year long if it was going to be enough, but I knew we would get that very best.
Question.
Coach, I watched you guys win a championship in 15, and 16 was your first year as a head coach here. You won a championship. You had a few down years, bounced back, had a good year last year. How do you rate this championship after a few years away, say in 6 years, compared to that first championship coming back in 16?
Well, I think the expectations were different. We had a team that had some guys coming back. The biggest thing about that 16 championship was just finding a way to replace some really good guys on defense, and we kind of leaned on offense. But that team had those expectations. They'd kind of been through those fires. This one rebuilt themselves from the ground up. And that's one of the things I've talked about with these seniors who kind of stuck through it. We got a low number of seniors, and we got even a lower number when you start looking at the guys who really played this year. Just all the things that happened. 2019, that season, we lost in the first round of the playoffs in a game that we kind of fought, we're in it, and then just in the fourth quarter, just everything kind of fell apart. And we talked about it at the end of that year. Lutcher was a freshman, he had played receiver, and we just didn't play Lutcher football to the standard that we needed to play it at. And that was in that 2019 season. And in that off season, we made the decision that some people probably thought I was crazy. We went with the sophomore who hadn't played quarterback, even though we were going to have a returning starter coming back. And we made that decision before we got out for COVID, that Lutcher was going to be the face of our program, and we were going to build this thing around him. And it really came down to what he did off the field. And what he didn't, it wasn't about what he did on the field. I watched him as a young freshman playing basketball after that season, and I watched him with a whole bunch of seniors and being the only guy on the court. But whenever things went wrong, he was the guy that was calling guys up. When guys were upset about something, he was the guy that was doing the right thing. And I knew that we could put all our trust in him. And that next year, his sophomore year, we were going with him at quarterback. And I really think his sophomore year would have been much better, but COVID hit, and he didn't get that chance to develop as a true passer. And then his junior year hits, we get the hurricane. But we make that run, and now the senior group, we wanted to extend this thing as long as we could for these guys. And we joked about it yesterday. That was our longest Thursday practice of the year on a Friday, just because we just didn't want to let them go as a coaching staff. We wanted to coach them and just be around these guys for as long as we could. So I truly appreciated everything that they've done, the sacrifices that they made. And when you're talking about the 9th banner and the 9th state championship, this is something these guys embraced since the Monday after Thanksgiving last year. Since we were eliminated on that Friday after Thanksgiving last year, this team hasn't been afraid to talk about hanging a 9th banner in our locker room. They haven't been afraid about holding up that trophy for the 9th time for our school. And like I've said so many times, they just don't disappoint.
Question. Always like trying to underrate the owners, but this guy grew with my whole life. That guy grew with my whole life. We've all been together, it's like a family. Like you expect the chemistry to be A1. But I know like big games, like Carson plays his ball. He may not touch the ball in the game, but when he touches it, he makes the plays. Channing is a young guy, ready for this type of stuff. And he's gonna show when the ball is in the game.
Final question.
Lunch, number 9, how did you feel?
Great, like we literally been through it all, like hurricane, COVID, the bad year, like we just know we can turn this program around. We all stepped together